Hello there. Good morning. This is Ned Kelly. Today is Sunday, April 23rd, 2023. So 23. How fun. That is the morning, the day after our Kansas Libertarian Party or Libertarian Party of Kansas state convention. Some morning after thoughts here. I thought the convention went well. Overall, went great. Overall, Tim, our state chair, did a good job. Cheers to you, Tim. I'm proud of you. Thank you. You were coachable. There were often times where he was hesitant, didn't seem to know what to do, or he was doing the incorrect thing, and I would call out and say, make a suggestion. Basically, I was acting as the parliamentarian. So was Eric Lund to some degree, but I think I was for the most part coaching Tim, and he really should have gotten a parliamentarian. Really, next time, get a parliamentarian, just to be your support, to be your reference. One particular thing. When someone calls the question, people think that means you automatically vote. It's the previous, calling for a vote on the previous question. In other words, whatever thing is at that moment being debated, and people are speaking in favor of, people are speaking opposed to it. Someone says, call the question. That doesn't mean you just automatically vote, because there may be people who still want to debate. So as I told Tim in that moment, well, what you do is ask, is there any objection to ending debate and calling this previous question? And if there is, and often there's no objection, maybe you've been debating quite a while and people at that point are ready, and someone says, call the question. And it's like, yeah, okay, we've had enough. There's nothing really urgent that anybody else needs to say. But if there are people who still want to continue debate and are not ready to, call the question, you need to take, so if someone objects, any objection to ending debate, calling question. If there is any objection, then you go to a vote, and it requires a 2/3 majority vote to end debate and call that previous question. Just for future reference. Let's see. The platform positions went well. There was one good one about monetary freedom, and that I had written months ago. The way these things work in our state party, you have to present them to the executive committee. There may or may not be a platform committee to present them to, but either way, you have to get them to the executive committee. They deliberate on them and decide whether or not to post them. There's actually two 28-day periods of posting, and they decide, the executive committee decides whether or not to bring them forward to convention. So of course I started that process months ago to get it going and make sure it got through. The way most people do it is just very last minute. They're like, okay, there's 2 months left, let's see what we can get pushed through. Anyway, that's not a smart way to do those. So that was a good one. Monetary freedom. There was a bad one. Let's just call it what it was. To take the abortion platform that had been, last year removed from our national platform, and to try to put it into our state party platform. That failed. Fortunately, I don't think it even got a majority. It needs a 2/3 majority. I don't think it even got a majority. So that's a good sign. And because it would be redundant to what we already have in the platform, because it would be pushing us more towards a pro-life stance, and we really should just remain neutral. It has the wording of all good faith positions on all sides, but then it goes on to actually not be good faith or neutral. All that. It actually does take a stance that abortion is not murder and it should be left up to the individuals, that sort of thing. So anyway, the consensus within our state party, at least the assembly at the state convention, is clearly against that. So I hope those in the executive committee, the new members and the old members, hear that and just stop. Just stop. You've been pushing this for the past almost a year now. making a resolution about the constitutional amendment vote, with refusing to even consider rescinding. There was a motion to rescind that. It didn't even get seconded. With this platform proposal, and not bringing forward the counter platform proposal, which would have been, which was David Graham's, which would have made the platform more neutral on the matter. They refused to bring that one forward to convention, but they did put this one. So they've been really kind of pushing. There's kind of a pro-choice caucus or clique within our own state party, and it's troubling. I hope this is the end of it. I hope this is the end of it, but they never apologized. And I don't need an apology. I just need them to recognize that they were wrong. Because they haven't recognized they were wrong, it makes me think they're going to keep trying. That scares me a lot. I don't need an apology just because of hurt feelings or any of that, but I would like them to, the executive committee members who were pushing this, to admit that it was a mistake. That would be very reassuring to let us know they're not going to keep pushing it. But either way, as long as they stop pushing it, then we'll be okay. We'll be happy. So that's thoughts about that platform issue. There were some bylaws proposals that all of them failed, and I'm glad, because they were all bad. A couple of them failed with getting zero. One of them got 0 votes, and one of them got barely any votes. I think at most one of them got about 50%, maybe a majority, but again, it needs a 2/3 majority. So I think that's a good indication of the body's understanding and appreciation of what bylaws should be, but not those who were on the bylaws committee this past, again, I think it was only formed about 2 months ago, maybe 3 months ago. Bylaws committee, really, we should form one now for the coming year, and I would be happy to head that. But it should take some time. And people said, oh, I appreciate the amount of work this bylaws committee and tension. I don't know that they put any work into it. These things just seem to be copy and pasted from somewhere else and tried to be shoved into our state bylaws where they didn't belong. These were not thoughtful. These were horrible. They were poorly written. And the convention got that and voted no, heavily voted no against them. So I'm glad about that. But there really should be more thought put into our bylaws. Could use some work. As a matter of fact, we ought to combine our platform. Not our platform. Our state Constitution. Thank you. That's an important word. The Constitution of our Libertarian Party of Kansas and the bylaws. It's been recommended that we combine those two. Most state parties only have one document, so we really should take the time, the work, the effort, get a good team of people to look at that and present that and go through the process to get that accepted as the document. Anyway, those are some of my thoughts for now. I do appreciate all who participated in the convention, and let's do it again next year. Peace and freedom, my friends.